All right, this will be a trade recap for Friday, January 30th, 2026. Continuing on with the whole discipline and consistency efforts. So another one and done on the first trade to trigger. So we will discuss that here in a moment. But first, if you're looking for a high quality coach when it comes to day trading and mentor, this part's for you. I am a student of this gentleman. This is Pat Mitchell. He is a professional day trader, though he originally was in blue collar work, and he has been in the markets for a little over a decade now. And he has built up a incredible process and knowledge base when it comes to learning how to day trade. He runs a service called Trick Trades. He has also put together inside of Trick Trades a program called SizeUp, and that's what I do. And it is a structured program for learning how to day trade. You start with a small cash account, and you basically build that up with your education, experience, and screen time to eventually hit different milestones and become a full-time professional day trader. So if you're interested in something like that, great person, probably one of the highest quality coaches when it comes to day trading out there. If not the highest quality. I don't personally know of any other coaches that I can stand by or say that about, and I've been around a few of them in terms of their services, and nothing even comes close to what Pat offers. So if you're looking for a high quality coach, I cannot recommend him enough. And like I said before, you can find him over at tricktrades.com. He also has a YouTube channel on his own where he posts recaps usually daily. If you want to check that out, you can get a little preview of the kind of information he offers and the quality. And that is just a very, very small amount of the knowledge he possesses. But yeah, definitely check him out. It will be worth your time and effort to go through some of his content and judge for yourself. And with that being said, let's get into the charts. Okay, here we go. So if you're just joining us, the first set of charts here on the left is the daily chart. This middle set of charts is the intraday 1 minute. And then I typically have my order management on this side. That way, everything is kind of on one screen for me and not looking all over the place. And I can keep the charts, again, right here and in view. Which is how I like it. Obviously, do what suits you best, but try not to be looking around at 50 different locations, because that is what will get you in trouble and you'll miss things. So the blue levels on both SPY and Qs are the levels that are picked out pre-market to develop a trade plan, and that's what Pat does for us. Starting the night before, he'll go over levels that look to be in play and of interest and get some initial ones plotted along with potentially trends and things like that. And he'll refine his trade plan in the morning before the market opens to really lock things down, and then they don't change. Good exercise I like to do is I like to try to pick levels myself before looking at his. That way I can see, am I looking for the same thing? Am I understanding the charts correctly? Do I have the same read on it? Good exercise. Try to do that one every single day. And currently doing what we have referred to as 1 and 1 or 1 and done, and off of first to trigger. So what that means is you're only going to take one trade in the day, irregardless of the outcome. And you're going to take the first trade that triggers from the trade plan. And that's it. And on top of that, I've imposed kind of a limit in terms of sizing. So I'm only taking 1 to 3 contracts for this period. And I'm doing this for 30 days. That way I can work on discipline, being consistent and trying to identify any issues, especially also with sizing. So right now, using 1 to 3 contracts, like, does the size impact me in terms of like emotional response or anything like of that nature? No. Right now, I can say emphatically 1 to 3 contracts really doesn't move the emotional needle, which is good because that's a good basis point to start with. Because down the road, going to do this 30-day period of 1 to 3, and then in the next period, probably basically restart the process, but going to bump the size up a little bit and then rinse and repeat that until whenever I decide to end it, if ever, honestly, because it's one of those things where with Pat's strategy, the consistency off of this is kind of silly. And usually that first trade to trigger is such a high hit rate that, I mean, hell, you really don't need to take more trades, especially if you're building an account. The more trades you take, the more you're exposed to the actual market, the more risk there is for those trades not to work and turning a green day potentially red, which is kind of a cardinal sin, especially to Pat. And he preaches that damn near every day. You never want to turn a green day red. So, with that being said, let's get into the actual trade itself. So, for today, as we were getting everything lined out and opening up SPY, I can pull that back off for a second. Really wasn't looking all that good in terms of just how everything was spread out, where the risk was, and how complicated the trade plan was getting on SPY. And Qs, again, it was similar, but not as complicated. So the focus was on Qs. And the first trade to trigger was this short off this level. And that is the one I whacked. Got in with my one contract as it came in because it did so pretty quickly. And then immediate follow through. And as you can see, that was typically, I would say, $10 to $20, and even that's a little high per contract. It's considered good to me, especially on that initial one, because obviously if you're not adding and averaging and correcting, it's one of those things where that's what you get. On this one, the fact that it spiked to damn near $50 a contract on that first reaction, you can see I only hit it halfway down because, so again, if you top tick this is kind of ridiculous. If you manage to top tick that, again, that would have been $100 per contract on the exit if you got in where more or less I got in, or even a little bit worse. So really volatile, but it was the first to trigger, went in, went out, paid on the first reaction, one and done. And that's all that's really needed. So wasn't expecting that kind of volatility. But the plan, the strategy, again, all works regardless of the condition of the markets, especially when it's backed by a good trade plan and a sound strategy. And you trust in those things, and you trust in your coach, you trust your mentor, you trust what you've been taught and what you've been told. You don't fight them on it. These are the kind of results you get. So I know it doesn't seem like much, but again, it's like, imagine you build and grow your account over time, doing something simple like this to the point where it's like you go from taking that one contract starter to now you're taking a 2, 3, 5, 7, 10. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where this scales up pretty quickly so long as you take your time to grow your account, grow the discipline, get the screen time and the experience, really take and absorb what your coach and mentor tells you, the lessons there, the strategy, all of it, and you trust it. I mean, hell, think about that. If I averaged in on that with size, hypothetically, or even if I didn't and say it was a 10 contract starter, it's like you literally make $500 in the course of, I mean, from my entry to exit, you're not even 60 seconds. Like, could you imagine making what a good chunk of people make, you know, in their day job during their week? Almost like, or again, it's damn near close to that. And like sub 60 seconds. And then you close it down, pick your ass up and walk away and enjoy the rest of your day. I mean, what's that worth to you? I mean, what is that degree of freedom worth to you? Something to think about. Because everyone wants to get wrapped up with the money, the money, the money. There are plenty of people out there that make good money at their day job, whether they have their own company or whatever. But the amount of time they spent shackled to a desk or that business or their customers or whatnot, they really don't have the freedom. They have the money, but they don't have the freedom. So what happens if you get, I mean, I would happily trade that degree of money for less money, but more freedom. And that's kind of what this offers. I mean, really think about it. You could be done. And it's actually one of those things we actually aim to do. This is generally we only trade the first half an hour is probably the average, maybe 45 minutes, hour max of the market, then basically go about our day. I mean, it's one of those things where you imagine you work 1 hour out of the weekday, 5 days a week, making really good money, and then you're free to basically do whatever you want. What is that worth to you? Can you put a price tag on that? Especially, again, if money is more than enough to provide a comfortable living for whatever your situation may be. Damn near worth it in my mind. Like every second of every day, learning this, committing to it, kind of living and breathing it. Yeah, that is worth it to me. But yeah, solid way to end the week and the month. And hopefully everyone else did well today. And that's more or less all I got. If you're looking for high-level coaching and mentoring, check out Pat Mitchell over at tricktrades.com. You can also jump over to his YouTube channel over at Trick Trades and look at some of the information that he puts out in his recaps and video lessons. I think he has over 1,500 videos at this point. He's been doing this for, like I said before, over a decade. Check out the information, check out the quality of it. And if it interests you, I highly recommend. It doesn't even have to be, again, a lifelong commitment. If you're skeptical, try it out for a month. See what you like, don't like. Again, give it a shot. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised in terms of how we do things there, especially how Pat runs that place. Like, hey, he knows what he's doing. So hopefully see you there. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy your weekends, and catch everyone for the start of February and the start of a new week. Have a good one, everyone.